So you guys were I'm hearing a lot of you guys wanted a theme song shortened, so here we go. This girl reviews movies, games, and books. Sometimes she plays them. So does that, and when she does it with the cat, does that make her crazy? Does that make her crazy? Probably. So, it's shorter. There you go. Crazy Cat Lady or Martha Butler does not own any trailers or pictures. I use them under fair educational for and entertainment purpose. Blade. It's like it's all they did. Well, those years ago. See? No, I don't want to do any more of it. Alright, so we have a special guest. Me and him both just watched 13 Warriors. I knew this guy from school. His name is... Introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Jacob Carrillo. We went to school with each other pretty much from kindergarten on, and The 13th Warrior is one of my favorite movies.
This is my first time. I think it's my first time watching it. I liked it because it has Banderas on it.
Yeah, it was an interesting choice for them to cast him, obviously in an Arab role, a role for an Arab actor.
When he's Mexican.
Pretty well.
But I don't think it's really noticeable, because with his skin color, you can really tell, and he does a really good role as it. And besides, he's going to a new country where he's probably never been to. He's never been to Norway.
Yeah, when this movie came out, we were young, but I remember when it came out. I believe it came out 1990. What is it? Maybe 98.
Let me look it up. I had to get it on Google, but it's probably like around the same time he did Zorro. 1999.
Okay, so it came out in 1999, and I was kind of raised in a little bit of a sheltered house, and so seeing a movie like this, I was completely blown away. I thought it was awesome as a kid, and even today, there's some things that you can point out, but I think it was overall a good movie.
I spell Zorro. I want to see
Z-O-R-O.
Z-R...
Z-O-R-R-O.
I don't know if we can find that movie by itself, since there's so many different versions of it. He did that one the year before.
Okay, so it would be safe to say that it was at, like, the height of his, acting.
Yeah, then he did Puss in Boots. He played Puss in Boots for Shrek. And that made him really famous with the kids.
Yeah, and he's one of those actors that I don't know anybody that doesn't like Antonio Banderas.
He's attractive.
He's done anything from serious movies like The 13th Warrior to Puss in Boots. I don't know anybody that doesn't like.
Yeah, he was even in the last Indiana Jones movie that he was in, that a lot of people didn't like. He was good in that role. And I don't know if you watched it yet. Have you watched it yet?
I have not, but one that does pop out to me is he also did the Spy Kids movies.
I only watched the first one. I think he played the dad, right?
Yeah. Besides him, there's not a lot of people in the cast that I noticed. Did you notice anybody?
I don't know. One of the Norwegian guys, one of the Norway guys, he looks familiar. Let me get back see if, I'll look at the cat. See, we have, I don't know, one of them did look familiar, but it was kind of hard to tell with all the beard. I think this guy right here, Tony Current, who played the magician, he looks like he's from the new Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he played, let's see if he's on Mortal Kombat movie. Well, he's an Underworld, actually.
He's an Underworld, yeah. He's the vampire in the later ones. Yeah.
He plays I think he plays the very first vampire in that world. Not who was supposed to be Dracula, but not since Dracula does not exist in that world, doesn't count.
Which is weird. Did you notice that there's an actor named Vladimir Kulich?
Yeah.
So did you play Skyrim?
No, but he says his name's Beowulf.
Yeah.
That's what the character's
that's
name
a-
is.
Yeah.
But that's a Christian. That's a Christian mythology, not really Northern.
I think so. So from what I understand, the movie is actually based off a book written by Michael Crichton, who is the popular writer of Jurassic Park.
Uh-huh.
And so he wrote a book because the story of Beowulf is like this long, old poem, you know? And so he was trying to find a way of telling the story with it being like more historically factual and like better to digest. And so that's where this comes from, was him turning the Beowulf into like something that seems like it could be a real story. And so they're saying on the IMDb that his name is Beowulf. It was actually like Bullseye, but it's the same idea. He's Beowulf. It's just Michael Crichton's version of Beowulf.
Okay, I only read Jurassic Park by him.
Yeah, that's he's got a couple others, but so do you want to lay out what this movie's kind of about, how it kind of starts off?
I'm not very good at naming these characters' names, but I'll try my best. So
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll just mostly go by the actors' names. So
Sure.
Banderas. The movie starts off in Badek, which also is the same place that Aladdin takes place, but separate. Because Aladdin, they were not allowed to use Badek since we were going at war with them during that movie was being made. So they made up a place.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so when I realized that this says Baghdad, and so he gets taken. He goes to meet the Oracle of Delphi, which is weird that the Oracle of Delphi is a Greek goddess, is in the Middle East, but she's there and she's giving a prophecy to a bunch of Norwegians, and I don't think some of them might be Greek. Some of them might be Greek because we hear Greek and Norwegian language, and the guy who's translating for Pandonio's character is able to translate for all of them.
Yeah, and he understood Greek because they were kind of switching between the languages, and that's the one that he understood. So hard to say.
Yeah. So they have to go. The Oracle says that they have to go to a land to save a village from evil monster who is supposed to be. Now, if you know the story from Beowulf, that this is the son of Cain, this one Adam's and Eve's kids, who committed the first murder. And that's what the story was really about.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, like, because the creature in Beowulf, essentially named Grendel, they've changed it to Wendell in this one. So just
who wants to be bears.
Yeah, they want to be bears. Very interesting. Yeah, so they show up there. There's
and 13 warriors have to go to there and to save the village.
Yeah.
And that's what's called that.
But there's a specific thing that she says, and it's like, you have to go by in the number of how many months you have, and these Norwegians apparently have 13 months in their year, and so that's how they decide who they're going to get. And then the prophecy, everybody, there's like this kind of cool little gathering, and each person's like, I'll go. They're keeping count. And when it gets to 13, they all quiet down, and they tell Antonio Banderas, who is a stranger to all this, that he has to go because the 13th warrior has to be someone that's not, a Northman. So that's kind of where that, like, he's kind of forced into this adventure.
Yeah, and then way he learns to learn this guy's language is just that he mouse reads them and then listens and figures it out that on the way there. After they make fun of his horse and keep on calling it dog.
Yeah.
And then he does like a bunch of tricks with the horse, like he can jump over stuff and like, can a dog do this? Huh?
Yeah, and it was interesting kind of how they showed how he was learning their language. Like, of course, there's only so much time, but the idea was that it was a bunch of days of watching them camping and talking. The movie, it kind of looks like it happened real fast, but that's cinema for you. But yeah, he learns their language and then is able to talk a little crap back to them, if you will.
Well, the thing is, because the Wonder movie was not using caption at the beginning. There's no caption at first. So, and once the guy leaves, who's translating, because he can't go with them, because he was not chosen, and so either they had to put the Wonder movie in caption, which I would not have liked, because I cannot like I had not watched the Christian movie where we watched Jesus die, that one. I've not watched that movie for a while since it came out, because the fact that it's all in another language and you have to read on her thing, and I haven't watched that new Godzilla movie because of it too, because that one movie's on Japanese and you have to read it.
Yeah, I think that was kind of their idea, that they were like, let's get these subtitles out of the way, or it's just going to be difficult,
So we just know we just know that it's all Norwegian, but it's in English for the for the audience sake.
yeah, exactly. He's gonna learn. Yeah, exactly. And in the book is a little interesting because he doesn't really learn their language like that. So he's talking through an interpreter pretty much the whole book. So that's kind of complicated. So I think.
So do they have 14 people go there with them in the book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's speaking through the blonde guy that can speak Greek. He's kind of speaking through him.
Mm-hmm.
And learning a few words here and there. By the end of the book, he pretty much understands, but there's a long stretch. So the directors did a good job on let's get it out of the way.
Okay, so when they get, I don't know how long it doesn't really tell them how long it takes for everything to Norway from Badek, and who knows how long that actually takes, but they eventually get there, and their job, and so they get to go to the village, but they find a house that looks like it's been eaten, that has been like killed, and only one kid has survived, and that's a little kid because that kid hid from.
So I found that a little interesting because there was like some horror elements to this movie because you're not sure what's going on. They're talking about these monsters. These big, strong men seem to be very like weary about them, and then you come to this house and the people are just massacred.
Yeah,
it was interesting.
Yeah, because they said there's like not many people that are still alive. They kept like one of the warriors says that there's like an age gap between 15 and 50.
Right.
Because there's more children there than adults.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they're either really young or they're really old.
Yeah, and so they're kind of having to have help from people. They're not really going to help them, and these guys are really going to have to be the ones who battle them. And so then they find another kid who's like out in that is not part of the village. He like wandered off, and like every single time there's like mist coming around. If you like ever read the book called read any of the Percy Jackson books, that's what it remind me of. Is that if like there's mist around, that's when they come like get them, and actually the mist is actually literal. It doesn't make them look like something else, but it makes they come in the mist, so they use the mist as protection, so they would not see them coming.
Yeah. and again, like it adds this weird kind of like creepy element because you're still unsure, and it's like, all right, like what's going on, you know?
And then they start throwing fire at the because they decided to start building things up to make sure that nothing can get over, and because nope, a hard time got being poked to death. And so they would bring like fire arrows and like start and start like shooting arrows, and then they would see a bunch of people like dressed in bear skins.
Yeah, so it turned out that they weren't monsters at all. They were like
cannibals,
like cavemen in bear skins,
and cannibals.
Yeah, and cannibals too, which was weird.
Which would make sense because that's basically what in the old Beowulf story. That's why he was called that creature, because he would eat people.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. I never put those two together. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And the way they cover the dragon part is when they go into the cave.
Well, the first spot that they cover the dragon is when they actually see the fire coming out of the mountains, and they think it's a dragon.
Yeah.
Because it looks like a fire worm.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turns out it's cavalry. It's just a bunch of cavalry with like torches, you know.
Mm-hmm. So that's how they got around the part, because since they really can't use an actual dragon unless they go Komodo dragons, but they had to go through the fact that there's fire everywhere. And most of the warriors in here die. I'm not saying, how would you say many die during the part where when they're getting attacked?
In the battle, they lose the majority, right? Like, it's out of 13, it's like, I think, like 6.
6, so like about 7 of them go into the cave.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they lose another one in the cave.
Yeah, they lose another one, and the purpose that they go into the cave is that, they meet like a wise woman or something, an oracle of some sort.
Another one?
Yeah, another one of the oracles of Delphi or whatever, and she tells them that they need to destroy the mother, and that's how they'll get rid of these people. So now you're doing, Grendel's mother kind of a thing.
And they find some of the monsters got killed, and that's how they figure out these are just people who are very bad people who just kill you and then tear you apart. Like,
and need to, and they hang people's heads up.
Yeah, so that, I mean, bears don't do that. Bears eat you, but they don't like hang your. They don't care about your heads.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're even worse than bears.
Yeah, those are some bears. But then they figure it out, and they go to kill the mom, and there was another. What did they said? The leader of he had the horns of power or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they go into the cave and they find the mom, and essentially the leader of their party, the Beowulf character, he cuts her head off, but she cuts him with she had some venom or something on her claw.
Yeah.
And then they have to escape, and that was pretty wild.
And they go through the way, because they go to like a dead end in the cave, so they have to get out for the water, Tangle style, which is like they have to swim out under their like Tangle and Flynn do.
Yeah.
So they get out that way because they're going to the end of the sense of the earth.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And then they get out that way. So there's now since 8 of them died, we have 5 of them left. Including Pendodium, Banderas, and Beowulf, and 4 others. So then they defeat these monsters by killing the leader.
Yeah, mostly because they were about to get pretty overwhelmed.
So it's kind of like if you kill ants, the old you kill like the queen ant, all the ants die, or in this case, they don't know what to do.
Right. And the essentially Beowulf kills the leader, and then they all retreat. And it's kind of a cool scene because he was poisoned, and he kind of finds like almost like a makeshift throne in the wall, and just kind of dies there.
Yeah. So
having won his victory.
then the five of them go back to back to Baghdad to take Banderas' character back home, and that's when the movie ends.
Yeah. So I mean, what would you score it? How would you break it down? Because you know, I have a nostalgia about it. So.
I'd have to probably give it a 9. I rarely give 10s. I rarely give movies 10s.
Yeah, no, I don't believe in 10s, but a 9, wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So like you enjoyed the wars, the story, the everything.
Yeah, I didn't realize, since I didn't read the book, I didn't realize that it had to do with I thought it was just a northern myth. I had no idea that was actually Beowulf.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't learn that until later either. Once the internet became more accessible was when I started to learn other stuff like that. You know, because otherwise, how else would you know?
Yeah, because they don't mention Cain anywhere in this story, so you would have no idea.
Right. Yeah. I'd score it pretty high too. I mean, I would say a 9 as well. And it's just, if you watch it for what it is, like, it's not a complicated story. It's pretty straightforward. But the acting is good. Mm-hmm. The battles are good. The pace is pretty good. It's not slow. It's not too fast. You know, at times, you know, you're not sure what's going on. Are these monsters? Are they not? And then, you know, are they going to drown? Are they going to make it out? Like, there's some good suspense. Yeah, I'd give it a 9 too. Some good stuff.
Okay. So, okay, we've been talking for like almost a half an hour now. Jeez. So.
That's a good movie.
Yep.
Do you want to switch over to my platform now?
Well, what movie we're going to talk about over there?
Say what?
What movie talk about over there?
Oh, okay. You're good then?
I'm going to like, favorite, subscribe, guys, and bye-bye. See, bye-bye.
Bye.